Hey, what is up, everybody? It's ZXRyuu, and we're back with more of the Let's Play of Mega Man Legends 1.
Good luck!
So we're going to go ahead and pick up where we left off. We're about to trigger the cutscene to go to the Cardon Forest subgate. So we're going to go ahead and load up our save file from last time and keep going. Hope you all are having a good day today. Been messing around with audio and video some more, so trying to get that all squared away, hopefully, so we don't have any more weird audio glitches. So I think it's just going to have to be that I'm just going to have to use this specific computer that I'm on right now instead of using like my portable setup in order to get the audio to stop like going up and down or whatever. There just seems to be some problem with the way I have it set up before. But anyway, so last time we finished clearing out this ruin over here, and one thing I wanted to note about that ruin specifically is there's a way you can kind of skip past this this event flag right here. This lady is really where you're supposed to go to kind of trigger the next sequence of the game, but if you go through and glitch through that wall that we saw in the last video that I talked about, you can like bypass this whole auto-scroll segment, and you don't really ever have to do it. But I'm going to go ahead and do it the normal way, or the intended way, I guess, so that you guys can see how this actually works. So I guess let's continue. Yeah, so she books it back over to the ruins over there. And I think actually part of that, the reason why that exists is to show you that the ruins are there. So you know to go in them or whatnot. So this next section is kind of dull.
We've got to buy Miss Tron the time she needs to finish the robot! Okay, everybody, on your toes. Let's show Miss Tron what we can do.
Okay, so if you leave, it just kicks you back out to the next segment because maybe you weren't ready or whatever, but we're going to continue on because we are ready.
I've come to back you up, Mega Man. I may not be able to do much, but if you get in trouble, get inside the car, okay? I'll get you back to safety.
So you can use that as a way to get out, but also, too, you got to be aware that the car can run you over. If you stand in front of it, you can get hit by the car.
Mega
so
Man.
it's
We're almost there.
It's just better to not let that happen.
If you get in trouble, use the car as a shield.
Yeah, because for whatever reason, the car's invincible. And actually, I just remembered something as I'm doing this that I was going to do before we went through this whole section. So I'll probably go back and do that here in a minute. But anyway, we'll just continue through this auto-scroll part and get that done, and then come back to that. It's just a little detour to get a part, so to make things a little bit quicker. I mean, you're not really supposed to like go get this part until a little bit later, but I mean, it is open. It's not like I'm like glitching anything to go get it, but it is possible to go get it. So it's just not really like when you're intending to get it, I guess. Just make sure I'm clearing out all the enemies. Huh, weird. Thought I was going to take another hit or two, but I guess the damage was a little bit higher than I thought. Yeah, but see, you can get hit by the car, so...
Huh? There's a fence? I'm gonna ram it, Mega Man. Stand back!
Roll. I really don't think you should be ramming fences. I mean, shouldn't we ask the mayor of the city? Oh my gosh! So if you get in the car right now, I don't know why I do that every time. If you get in the car right now, it'll just take you to the normal development room thing, whatever. But I go ahead and, actually, I'm going to go ahead and do that because I'm not ready to go into the ruin just yet. Okay, just here. Okay, actually, Actually, no, we do need to take the support cart back because it'll be faster. So we're going to go get a part in Uptown, which is the west door, I believe. Yeah, so this is the lakeside town, or lakeside port or whatever it's called. We're not going to do a whole lot here. I'm just going to look for a trash can that's got a specific part in it, and then we're going to go continue on. I just don't remember exactly where the trash can is that I'm looking for. So I did look some stuff up about this game, but I don't remember. I didn't look up exactly where all the trash can locations are, so that's my B. Let's see, I know there's one up here. I don't think this is the one we're looking for. No, that's not it. Okay. Oh gosh, there was a car right there. Hi there, car. Thanks. That was random. There was a trash can around here. There it is. Okay. Okay, this is the one I'm looking for. Okay. I'm not going to go ahead and call roll in here. We'll just go back out. Just be faster, I think, to go back and go back to the card on Forest. So we're gonna, with this part that we got, this broken propeller, we're gonna make a special weapon. A weapon. I call it a weapon. It's not really a weapon. It's more of a tool than a weapon. Okay. So the vacuum arm, it's not an attack weapon, but you can use it to pull in Zenny. Yeah. So this is the weapon that I'm going to probably be using for most of this run. I'll switch around to some other special weapons later, kind of near the end of the game, but for right now, this is the most useful weapon. And then we're going to pay some money. It's really, really cheap in this game. In Mega Man Legends 2, it's not cheap. Yeah, so 1,000 Zenny for infinite energy, which is not at all what it is in Legends 2. So there's 3,000, 5,500. So 10,500 to max out the whole thing. So that's nice and cheap. Yeah, in Mega Man Legends 2, it's like twice or 3 times that. It's really expensive. Mega Man Legends 2 is just really expensive overall. They just really jacked up the price for some reason. Okay, don't need to save because this run's not. Sorry about that. This run's not very difficult. Okay, let's go ahead and start this. So, I guess first thing to note is that we can't get up in this section over here. If you kind of bypass the, if you use the glitch to clip through the wall, you kind of end up coming through that way. So, it's kind of interesting.
I'm picking up high energy readings from close by. It looks like it's a refractor. And a big one, too.
And again, like I've been saying, I'm just going to fill in the
Is the
map.
refractor shielded? Most high-level refractors are protected in some kind of shield. You'll have to look for the control console and deactivate the shield.
So, and also just a thing to note is the shield does hurt you if you walk into it. So, because I did that at one point, I was like, oh, what happens if I walk into it?
Nothing. It looks like the starter's missing. It's probably hidden somewhere nearby. You'll have to find it. Remember, there might be more than one starter key, too.
Okay. So, anyway. So we'll go look for those keys. That's just kind of the mission here. Okay. So, and these ruins are... I mean, this one's not too large, but they do start to get bigger, and they do kind of have connecting and branching paths and some other things, so... Yeah, and that's why you want the vacuum arm, because you can just suck up all the Zenny from no matter where it is, even if it's on the ground on a completely other level, because when you first start out, it just pulls it directly toward you on the ground, you know, with a certain amount of distance or whatever, but if you do it, if you max it out completely, then it can just pull Zenny from wherever. So it's really good, you know, for when you start, you know, because you need money really bad, so. So especially after this set of, or this ruin in particular, it opens up quite a bit of stuff for you to do, so it's just good to have a lot of money at this point. So you can probably hear there's another enemy on the ground down there that chases you, and they're probably the worst, some of the worst, all of the worst, I don't know, they're just a bad enemy. And they kind of introduce you to these enemies slowly because there's a lot worse ones as the game goes on. So, and they can hurt you quite a bit if they touch you, you know, several times. So it's just better to not let them touch you. So, and always making sure to check to see where holes in the walls are and just other things, because they do hide a lot of stuff in these ruins, as you'd expect. So it's just really good to look around and make sure. There he is. Yeah, those guys will drain your health really fast. They're pretty scary. But thankfully they go down pretty quick. Okay, I believe I got everything on the map. Okay, so now we can start gathering items. Okay, so the first thing that's really easy to get is the first starter keys right over here. In a speedrun route, this would be the last one you would grab.
Did you find anything?
Get it on the way out.
I'm picking up a faint signal. That must be the starter key. Keep looking. There's probably a few more lying around somewhere.
So, and I do like the, kind of the, it's not really music per se, but just like the aromatic sounds and things that they decided to go with, in the ruins, I think is cool. I think it's a nice touch. Okay, the grenade kit is an item used to make one of the special weapons.
Remember the first time you went on a dig, Mega Man? I wasn't used to being a spotter, and you ended up getting lost underground for 3 days. Remember?
So this is ice. If
We
you
were
step on
lucky
it,
that
it'll break.
Gramps came to help us. I don't know what I would have done if he hadn't been there.
So if you stand on it too long, it'll break. Or it'll just like fall down, and then you'll be thrown down to the bottom. But the more of this you destroy, the less is available the next time you come through. So, but you really just intended to kind of use it to get through. Okay, so that treasure chest is kind of, I don't know, it's special because it's green. And here in a second, we'll try and open it. Just finishing up the map. Okay. Yeah, so it's rusted shut. So, this is kind of confusing where it's a switch on the wall, but if you don't know what to look for, it's kind of not obvious that you need to do something with it. So anyway, we're gonna set that. So that starts this conveyor belt moving. And you can trigger that from any of these.
There's something there. It looks like some kind of compactor or something.
So that hint that Roll gives you about the compactor is to kind of tip you off that the button is right there and that you can use it to move the conveyor belt. So. Okay. So, but anyway, the chest gets destroyed and you
Did
get
you find
another
another
key for it.
starter? That's 2. Only one more to go. It's got to be around here somewhere.
So, yeah, so this first ruin is really short. There's not a lot to do in it, but so anyway, that dumps you out down here. So we'll go back around. Well, that was weird. I've never seen that happen before. Huh. Didn't know you could kind of freak that out. It only takes one shot to push those down. So the reason why I went back around is because these doors get reset, so you can't go back through them. You can jump up them, but you have to reset or you have to have the doors open. Huh, I guess if you go back to the original room, I guess that resets also. Strange. Okay. Didn't remember that. Okay. Alright, so the spring set, we'll get to that here in a minute, but it's a really nice
Doesn't
item.
look like there are any big Reaver bots here. Still, you better stay on your toes.
Okay, so we have an old doll and an old bone.
It's another energy barrier. I'm getting the same kind of readings as before. Do you see a switch anywhere nearby?
So just push all the buttons, and we're good. It does reset though.
That's it. Now you should be able to access the console.
So yeah, it's that's it. So I mean, it dumps you out up here, and then in a speed run, you would just dump down here and not miss the platform, and then you would just grab that key, and then you would leave. Yeah, So, but this ruin is really, really small. But, yeah, see, it hurts you if you walk into it. If you do nothing, it just cancels the menu. I don't know why Mega Man's doesn't have his helmet here, but I guess that's just because it's pre-rendered.
Nothing's happening?
So I guess we get to leave without any problem, huh? Okay, so that's only like the first half, really, because it just seems like, well, that was it. That was short. So you kind of come back in here and talk to Roll first. Yeah, so we can't fix the flutter, unfortunately, but we can use that to power something else here in a little bit. Okay, so we have the grenade arm now. So, yeah, since it doesn't automatically equip them, she always reminds you, hey, you need to put this on. But at the same time, you know, with the jump springs... Nope, that wasn't it. Whoops. I have played this game before, I promise. Okay, so now our jump height is pretty much doubled. So we can go back into the ruin to the area we couldn't get to before and just jump up and kind of continue, because now there's a lot more things we can do, and the game kind of encourages you to, hey, take advantage of that. So anyway, if you use the glitch to kind of skip, or to kind of melt through the wall, you end up, you can end up in kind of this back area back here, and we'll talk about that more here in a minute, but you'll end up in this area, and then you just kind of come down the elevator going the other way, and you end up right, you know, up on the platform, so. That's one of the biggest refractor shards you can find in this game at all. So it's really nice. You get like 9,200 out of that. So they're pretty generous with the money in this one. In 2, not so much. But. So we can see that this now has put us in a completely different section, so now we're up on top of here. So, and they're just kind of encouraging you, hey, go back and check the ruins again, because now that you have the jump springs, you know, you can get to places that you couldn't before. So, there's only a couple items in here, but they're just encouraging you to go back and look through all the ruins again to see if there's anything you can get to now that you've missed, which there is. So, because now that we have the jump springs, there's a lot more things we can get to. I'm just trying to remember which direction to go to get to all of that. So we may just have to tootle around for a little bit. Get some more money from that. Any money you can get at any point is useful. Okay, we're gonna bypass a lot of these guys. Because the next section that we can go to is over here, so I guess I did it right there. So, because we can jump up here now. So, and I mean, you can start getting up on top of other platforms to look around and see if there's, you know, anything of value or whatever. So we want to go this way. So we haven't explored much of this room at all. Okay, so these crab spider things, I think they're crabs. Yeah, they'll run at you, and they kind of like flip over. So shooting them, you know, you need to shoot them in order to flip them over, because unless you have a special weapon, it's not going to really do anything otherwise. So, and this one's kind of annoying because he'll walk forward and get hit by the, you know, get hit by this thing, and it'll just keep flipping him over infinitely. It doesn't really kill them. So, and these are all desynced, and so this is probably the hardest one to walk through without taking unnecessary damage, so hopefully I don't. Yep. Oh well. Yeah, that guy you can kind of cheese because you can back him up against the spinning blades, and he'll just, you know, flip immediately back over, and then you can damage him. So all you're doing is just shooting these things several times to flip them over, and the more attack power you have, the quicker they flip over. So since those spinning blade things back there have a lot of attack power, they flip them over pretty quick. Yeah, so they'll make noise and run at you. Yeah, and the closer they are to you, or when they see you, they'll turn faster. So they're pretty, I don't know, I think kind of a scary enemy. They kind of freaked me out a little bit when I first played this game years and years and years ago. So, just as a side note as well, about the audio, I went back and rejiggered the audio a little bit, so now it's actually true stereo. Before I had my wires crossed, literally, and it was reverse stereo. So now I have the proper stereo set up. Okay, so again, we have some of these breakable walls, but we can't do anything with it yet, so we have to go this way. And lo and behold, we get more walls that we can't do anything with. So this is a section that you come back to quite a bit later in the game. Provided you don't forget about it. I think my first time through I actually forgot about it until way later when I was going back through. Just going back through everything after I beat the final boss. So anyway, that is all we can do here, so we can go back now. So that's why this is kind of like the second half of this ruin, you know, because you can't really do anything else with it, and also the first ruin that you go through to get the refractor is really short. I almost ran into that. There we go. That was better. Did I look at this wall? Okay, yeah. I'm trying to remember if I did or not. Okay, so now we can go back and just make sure that we've cleared out everything. We're going to go back another way, rather than the way we just first came through, so we can check and see if there's anything else that we missed. So once you get into a rhythm, it's pretty easy to just kind of spam them. Okay, so we can go this way now that we have the jump springs. So, and this is kind of a weird, I always thought this was a weird room because it has these spinning blades, but they're like super easy to avoid. So I'm like, I don't know why this is even here. So it just kind of seems like a waste of a room. So I don't know. It's just kind of weird. Okay. Now if you shoot this like right in the middle, you can hit both of them. Saves a little time. Okay. I thought so. I was like, I'm pretty sure I'm gonna get hit. I just kind of expect to get hit there. The first time I came through here, I remember this hallway specifically because I blitzed my way down the passageway and didn't realize there was an enemy, and so I just ended up plowing into him, and he hurt me a lot. I don't know if I died, but I think I got kind of close to it, so it's kind of scary. Okay, so this puts us in a familiar type setup with some more drilling walls. So we're on the other side, but you know, still can't get through. So just go through and get this item. Okay, let's get the rapid fire barrel now. And the enemy can respawn sometimes coming through here. I don't know why, but he can respawn in weird places, so. Okay, there we go, that was better. Went on the wrong side before. Yeah, but see, that's like super easy to avoid, so I don't know why that's even there. Okay, I guess let's go through the winding room over here. So this is kind of the best opportunity you have in the game to come back through all this area and just clean it up. So that's usually why I take this opportunity to kind of clean this up. Yeah, so those blade things will kill those guys in like 2 shots. I don't know if it happened last time we were playing it. That guy being right there. But now that we have the vacuum arm, we can just pick up everything that he destroys really easily because it resets. So, yep, so we can just do that, clean it up, and then just start fighting immediately. Because it's faster. That was weird. I've never seen that thing freak out like that. Okay, and so we're back in here. So we can kind of choose our exit point, but since this loops... That was real weird. Huh. Weird. I wonder where that fractor was. Okay, so anyway, since this loops us back around, we're just going to go And you can tell that this leads to a major dungeon because the doors are green, so we're just going to go back into the major dungeon and then exit via the elevator so we can get back to the support car, because then we're just in better position to go back to downtown and, you know, some other stuff so we can continue on. Okay, and now we're going to develop some stuff as well. So I always talk to her just because sometimes I forget which items specifically, but there's a couple of items that you give her. So anyway, I just kind of, that's the reason why I'm talking to her. Okay, so the machine gun, that's a buster part. Okay, so now we can take the support car back to downtown, because that's kind of the easiest way to get back to wherever you need to go. It's like the central hub of the game. Okay. So, and I think some of the interactions with people have changed now, so... Yeah, so that's the guy that kind of gives you the hint that that's where you need to go for the next part of the game. So he's like, hey, you should go check that out. Yeah, and some of the stuff, the trash cans do change a little bit as the game goes on, so it's always good to circle back around and check them again. Just when you have the opportunity. Okay, so we're gonna go uptown next. So there's a lot to do in Uptown. You kind of come back here quite a bit throughout the game, so I guess we'll go ahead and start. Yeah, and so like a silly, like a Nimrod, I missed the garbage pails right up here in front. I thought there was another one. I'm making it up, but I thought there was another one. That was the one up top, but I thought there was like another one in the city somewhere. Yeah, there's a lot of like nods to other Capcom games in here. So like Resident Evil, you know, another Capcom game. So, oops, that's not. So I don't know. It's just kind of funny. Like kind of the unseen dialogue there. So a lot of the little side quests and things are in Uptown also. I guess something that's maybe a little bit more relevant at this point in time is hopefully it doesn't end up being the coronavirus. Hopefully it is just a cold or the flu. You've never seen yourself on TV before. Okay. So the person you actually need to talk to is the one walking around. Or, no? Huh. I just tried to do that. Maybe it's too early in the game for that. So I thought there was a couple of things we could do right now, but I guess not. Maybe that's later. End game type stuff. Okay, so here's the reporter lady. Okay, so there's a lot of little mini games and things in here that you can do. You just talk to the receptionist and some other people, and they'll let you do different things. Maybe it's the Cadillacs mascot? Maybe. Yeah, I think both of these elevators, yeah, say check in. No, because there's no high score yet. What's this gonna say? Well, I could run fast. That unlocks here in a little bit. We'll do that shortly. Okay, the Beast Hunter one we can do, but the machine gun part that we got is actually to help with this other one, so we'll go ahead and do this one. Okay, so this is again violence against animals, I guess? I don't know. But anyway, you have to hit the dog with the ball and not hit the person. I guess we'll go ahead and hear the rules. Yeah. So you have to do these several times to get up higher in the ranks, so... So I always just, there's kind of a rhythm that you can get into. I always just hit the square button, but there's a rhythm you can get into to hit pretty much everything every single time. So, because it's all predetermined. Yeah, if you just hit that one pretty immediately, you can hit the shiny dog that goes by with the special dog and get more points, so... And then if you wait, yeah, you can hit the one in front. You have 30 seconds to do this, so. And that one you can't ever hit, so that's kind of the last one. Yeah, this is like pretty mindless. Once you get into the rhythm for it, it's really easy. And I think the highest you can get is 18. Ah, man, hit the wrong one. Yep. So if you hit the shining dog, it gives you 2 more points, so... Okay. So there's shinies even in here, like Pokemon. That's it. Okay, one more, and then we'll be to rank A and get the prize. Zet Spree. I just wish the Zet Spree was as easy to get in Legends 2 as it is in Legends 1. Getting the Zet Spree is one of the most difficult items in Legends 2. It's pretty terrible. Okay, so let's go, let's call roll and get some parts and stuff situated, and then we'll come back. So we're going to use the special item. Okay, we're going to develop some stuff. Yeah, Machine Buster special weapon. Yeah, the blade arm. So that's, the blade arm is really easy to make in this one, and 2 it's not. Okay. So, and it dumps us up here next to, yeah, I didn't point this out, Wily's boat. It's Dr. Wowie. Okay.
Something's missing. What do you think I should add?
So this is the funniest text box. It resets when you do it, so if you want to see what she says when you say some talent, you can do that.
Huh? What did you just say?
If you say, I said talent, she says, oh, well, never mind then. But then you can kind of recover it at this point and say, red, maybe?
Really? You think so? I'm fresh out of red, which is why I haven't been using it, but I suppose it is a little drab. But there's nothing wrong with this colder look either.
Okay, so she's the curator of the museum, and so in order to unlock this section, you have to find her some red. I was trying to remember if that was locked or not. So we'll go find her some red. Oh, yeah, okay. And it'll give us an opportunity to talk to some people we haven't caught up with in a little while. So, because we need to go back to, first we need to go to the apple market, and then we need to swing back by the city hall area to see how the building's progressing. Okay. Let's take a look in here, because I think there's probably some stuff we can get now. Let's go ahead. Max out our life. Okay, so the Kevlar jacket, I don't know that I'll get it yet, but it's a good idea to have, just because you reduce damage by half, but since I've played this game, I'll kind of know what's going on, so it's not as important that I pick that up. So, and there's not really any, like, combination parts right now. Let's see. Yeah, so the machine gun has 3 energy and 1 rapid, so it's pretty nice. I think what I normally do at this point is go with the range booster and the laser. Okay. Huh. Weird. Okay. Okay. So let's see here. Let's see how many... Let's see here. We should have... 10 blocks of health. Okay, so we need 3 extra packs. Because I usually get enough extra packs to have 1 full refill of life, because that's usually all you need. But when you play through it more, you probably will want more. Okay, so that should be 10. Yep, okay. All right. Interesting. Okay, so I'm looking for some red. We end up here. I mean, you can kind of look around, but anyway, you end up here. So anyway, that's the part. That's the item you need. She's still trying to figure it out. Interesting. So that's a hint for later. If you didn't pick up on that, you have to go find that guy's wife at some point, but I don't know when you can actually go do that. Maybe now that he's saying it, but I don't remember. I don't think there's anything you can buy in there, unfortunately. Wow. Good idea. Okay. She is very pregnant. Okay. So I don't know if there's hardly anybody else for us to talk to right now. Yeah. Even Paprika's dialogue changes. Okay, so now that we've got the red lipstick, let's go ahead and pay a visit to City Hall. Uh-oh. You're in trouble, dude. So I don't know if anything's fixed yet. I guess we'll see. Oh, well, they're starting construction. That's good. It is a nice view from up here. buildings got destroyed in here. Wow. Yeah, because I just paid your entire tab. Yeah, right. I think there's also some stuff to do back here also. I think some of the stuff is unlocked now. What do you think? Yes, no? It's kind of a weird set of dialogue. I don't know. What do you think? Yes, no? Huh? What does that even mean? I don't think anybody's in here. Yeah. Now we can get up here a lot easier. Oh yeah, the shop owner sets up shop out there every once in a while. Okay, so the one that we're interested in, back here. See if there's anything going on in here yet. Yes, okay. Your job is to go pick up their stuff. Need a pickaxe. Cool. Okay, so there is a... With all the construction workers around, you have to go talk to a specific one to get the pickaxe, so we need to go find that guy. And I'm running sideways because it is a little bit faster than running forward. It's one of those weird things. In Mega Man Legends 2, I don't think you can do that, but in this one, for whatever reason, you can. I'm trying to remember where the construction worker is. Yeah, so you can't go back in here. There's not really anything to do, though. But, yeah, you can come back through here and look around and see what the pirates ended up doing. You know, now that you have the jump springs, you can look around a little bit more thoroughly. So, but you can't get up to the ruins, so... Do-do-do-do-do-do-do-do. So, but once you find the guy with the pickaxe, you go give that to the kids, and they start working on their base. So it's good to do that sooner rather than later because it takes a while for them to do stuff. So it's just better to go find it and kind of come back to them. I want to say it's one of the guys up here, but I can't remember. Oh, there he is. Okay, cool. Thanks, dude. That was nice and easy. Boing. What sound does an airplane make when it bounces? Boing, boing, boing. Doo-doo-ch. Drum set rolls down a hill. Doo-doo-ch. Rocks and rolls on the way down. Ends up in some bluegrass in the end. Doo-doo-ch. I like buns. Okay, so come back and take a look later. So that will be a little while that we come back here. So we'll do another ruin and then we'll come back here. Yeah, so they show us now that the bank is complete because you completed some other section of the game, so. Okay, so the police station has been rebuilt and the bank has been rebuilt now, so it's just easy to trigger some other scenario or something, like trigger some other mini game or something like that, because then it unlocks different things. So now the bank is back open again. So, and I believe the dialogue kind of continues back to as normal. Not sure if you can talk to the guy in the back or not. Don't think so. Okay. And then the reason why we complete the police station is for mini games a little bit later on, but right now we can't do any of those yet. We have to trigger some other story stuff before we can do that. So we're gonna go back on to our original mission. So we're gonna give the curator the red lipstick. So I mean, it's kind of interesting how well this game is put together. Because you know, you meet the museum curator and you have to go looking around to figure out, well, who has red chalk or red paint or whatever she's using. And so it gives you some time to talk to some more people and just kind of revisit some other sections that you haven't revisited yet. So it's pretty good at guiding and directing you through the game to see as much stuff as possible. Before we talk to her. Yeah, go to the market. Yeah, so that person gives you the biggest hint as to where you should go. So you just start looking around, talking to people, and she tells you.
Oh, you're back. Hmm? What's that? Hey, could I borrow that for a second?
Go right ahead.
That's it. That's perfect. That's exactly what it needed. Thank you so much. Oh, would you look at the time? I better be going.
All right, so that triggers the museum to reopen. So now we can go in there. I guess before we go upstairs, just a note about this song. This is probably one of my favorite classical songs. It's Air 2 Orchestra, and it's by Bach, or 2 Air Orchestra or something. I think that's what it's called. I can look it up real quick. Yeah, 2 Air. So by Bach. But yeah, I think it's one of my favorite classical pieces. And it was just really interesting to hear it in this game, you know, being 16-bit or 32-bit, whatever it is. But I just thought that was a really nice touch to put this song in particular in here. And there's actually several Bach songs throughout this game that they use. Like the final boss has a Bach song, so it's just kind of interesting. Marketplace does not look like that, but sure. Yeah, so it's completely empty, so it looks like a chicken. So actually this painting in particular is really symbolic of the end game, so it's kind of interesting what that is. Out of a sci-fi movie. I think that's supposed to be Chun-Li. I think. So anyway, now that she's added red, you can see her painting up there, or up here, I guess. So it looks a lot better. But yeah, it's really empty up here. That's true. So anyway.
Hi there. Thanks for helping me out before. Thanks to you, I was able to finish my painting. I just paint for fun in my spare time. My real job is here, working as the curator. Why don't you take a look around? I know there's not much here, but... Wait! You're a digger, aren't you? If you find anything interesting on one of your digs, could you bring it here and show it to me? If it's really good, I could display it here. You will? Great, thanks.
Yeah, thanks for recruiting us for that. So anyway.
What's that you've got there? It looks like a bone or something. Oh well, a lot of the people who come here are into strange things like this. It doesn't look like much, but if you want, I can display it here.
So that's the reason for having
I'll call it
this.
an ancient digging tool. What do you say? Thank you so much! I bet there are a lot of people who'll come to see this. What? Did you really find that underground? If you did, it's an incredible discovery. I wonder what something like this would be doing underground. Oh well, why don't we call it a human doll? It could be someone's idea of a joke, but why don't we put it on display?
So anyway, whenever she does kind of the pose like she's looking at something, that means you have an item to give her, but otherwise she'll just like start up normal conversation. So I just kind of go through until she stops.
Is that a crystal fossil? Do you know what that is? Those are made when a Reaverbot's body crystallizes over the centuries. They're considered Grade 3 national treasures. It would mean so much to me if you'd let me display that here. Please.
Yeah, so grade 3 National Treasure. You eventually find grade 1 and or grade 2 and grade 1, but that's a lot later in the game.
Thank you so much. I bet there are a lot of people who'll come to see this. Where did you find that? That's an antique shield. Relics like that are classified as grade 2
There it is.
national treasures. Some Reaverbot was probably using it to protect itself. You'll let me put it on display, won't you? Thank you so much. I bet there are a lot of people who'll come to see this.
I think that's all I have. Yeah.
You're a...
So anyway, so they don't immediately show up, but if you go downstairs and then, I think go back upstairs, I think it shows them. Yes. And then it gives kind of the same description that she gave you. That's me, dude. So anyway, the more stuff you bring in, the more people you bring in also. So now we can talk to some more people. Interesting. I love chickens. I wonder if I can find my house. Of course. Okay, so, that's about all we can do for side quests and everything right now, I think. So what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead at this point and save, since we're a little over an hour. And we'll continue the next ruin the next time around. So let's talk to Roll and make sure that there's nothing left to develop. I don't think so. Okay, nothing to talk to her about. Okay, so we'll go ahead and talk to Data and save, and then call it a day for this one. Checking data, he's checking himself. I don't know, it's weird. Check yourself before you wreck yourself. Alright, well thanks everybody for watching the video. I hope you enjoyed it, and we'll pick up again with the next ruin in the next video. So, see y'all later.